Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. So
Good morning.
let's wait for a few more minutes for you to join. Okay. So
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Santosh.
Good morning.
Ritesh, one quick thing. If someone enrolls, so the enrolled student will, in his dashboard, will he have all the self-recorded videos for for all
Yes.
other technologies?
All others in the sense, SQL and Azure, you're trying to say.
Yeah,
See, you might get SQL access because it's already completed, along with what we are going to complete in the Power BI. So whichever sessions we are completing, let's suppose I'm completing today's session, right? So by the time I complete, within next 1 hour, that recorded session would be uploaded, or it will be automatically uploaded. So as and when we proceed further, whatever sessions we are going to cover live, right, all that sessions would be auto recorded and that would be available for your future understanding, or maybe you can come back and check that recording. Azure sessions will come once we start with the Azure. But yes, all the sessions are auto recorded and you will be able to
no, I
revisit
got
that
you.
record.
I got your point, but my question was different. I was asking, let's say people will he have the access of the upcoming classes also or not?
Yes, yes, yes. Upcoming in the sense he can directly attend that live sessions, right?
Okay,
The next sessions are not recorded anyway. It's what we are discussing is more of live session. So whatever we are discussing, that would be all recorded, and you can come back and check that recording.
understood.
I will show that option as well. Just give me a few seconds. Just a minute. I'll start sharing my screen. Okay. So once you visit our website, anyways, we have seen yesterday, right? So if you have to click on sign in, it would open a new tab, and there you have to register yourself. Mm, let's see. Yeah. So you have this option called as create new account. You have to register. Once you register with whatever email IDs, right, your personal email IDs, um, The email ID which I am using is the KSR email ID. You will get kind of similar email IDs, right? Once you enroll for this course, if you want to log into the Power BI service, kind of similar email IDs are given. For your login, it is not that you should always use KSR email IDs. You should, I mean, for the KSR website login, you can use your personal email IDs which you have registered, right? So once you click on sign in,
Mhm.
it would give you that option. One, you can go into that particular dashboard. Now, for me, I might be seeing many options because I have access to multiple courses or multiple free sessions. But what you have to do is once you log in into this website, you have to click on Explore Courses option. Towards right corner or above, you have this Explore Courses option. It would again open a new tab. So in this Explore courses, you have many sub tabs like free sessions, upcoming sessions, paid sessions. So you have to click on free sessions in order to check 5 days recordings, first 5 days recordings, right? So once you go to this free session, the very first option, the very first image or the very first option which you can see is full stack Power BI data analytics with MS Fabric. This is the one which you have to click on it, right? So once you click on it, um, you will get an option called as access course here, right? Uh, This is a free sessions, so you can easily access this. You need not pay anything, right? So once you click on access course, this would be automatically added to your bucket. Bucket in the sense, it will again come back to the dashboard and it would again directly go to the options. Now, see, once you are accessed, right, you are into that particular course. So you have options here towards left. You can check the previous sessions, I mean, previous batches recordings if you want. But just for informative purpose, we have kept these videos. How do I check the last two session recordings? You are in the lessons option here. You need to go to the class records. People get confused, right? Lessons option is where I can share some data sets for practice, or if I would like to share some PDF, right? This is the course curriculum PDF. So you have many options which are available under this lessons. If you want to check any specific video, you have to click on it and you can view. But if you want to check the last sessions, the last two sessions recordings, you have to go to the class records, right? Now, once you're into class records, you can easily check view recording for the last 2 days. Today's session is still live. By the time I complete this live session, after 1 hour, exactly after 1 hour of closure, the recording would be automatically available. And for you also, again, once I complete this, after 11 p.m., sorry, after 11 a.m., you will see the option called as view recording. It's not even 11, even after 10:30 also you can view by the time we close, right? How we close? If I'm closing at 9:30, you can view by 10:30. If I'm closing at 9:50, you can view at 10:50. So somewhere around 1 hour buffer is there where you can go back and check the recordings, right? So this is how you can check the recordings and at what day. And that particular day, what I have discussed, I'm also mentioning it in the topics. So you can check it in the topics as well. So this is how you can check. This is for first 5 sessions accepted. But once you enroll for the complete course, you will be automatically viewing all the sessions. So if I give a reference, this was for one of the previous batch. If I go to class records, the only thing is you have this option above, which date range. So this course was for October 2024 batch, right? So I have to go back. You can change the date. If you want, you can change the date. And you can see most of the records are there. And if I'm canceling any particular session also, that would also come here. Let's suppose I want to cancel particular session on a day. Maybe I'm busy or maybe some holidays there, some public holidays there. In that case, we usually have very rare holidays, but still, if there is any session being cancelled, you can view that cancelled session also, and you can view all other sessions, what we have discussed in that sessions and the complete recording of that session.
And will we have the access of these recordings for the lifetime basis or like what?
Okay, cool. So one thing which I would like to again highlight is the recording access would be for 365 days from the day which you start. Let's suppose you started on 17th of September. Next year, 16th of September 2026, you will have complete access. Now, the reason why we keep it up to 1 year is we assume that you should get into a good job by next 1 year. The recordings are for lifetime with certain option which is for 1 year. If you still want to extend it for another 1 year or maybe for lifetime after 1 year of that expiry, you can call or you can email KSR that I have enrolled for so association in the last year. I want to extend it for lifetime. It would be extended for lifetime. Recordings are available for lifetime, but we restrict it to 1 year so that you should get into a good job within that 1 year only. But if you still want to extend it, you have an option. You can simply put a small email to support@datavision.com and you will directly get the lifetime access. So for that purpose, you need not pay again, right? It's lifetime.
Hi, Ritesh. Good morning. Karthik
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah, Karthik.
Yeah. So, currently we are joining to the classes directly via the link shared in WhatsApp. So
Yes.
once we enroll to the courses, we have to get into our LMS portal, and from there we have to join, right? Otherwise, I think it's showing as absent, like even though we joined
Yes. Yes.
under the, yeah. So if we gonna continue, right, like this course, so I think the same LMS portal will be retained. So in that case, the first 3 sessions or 4 or 5 sessions will seems to be still absent, or
No,
how
no,
is
no,
it?
no.
Like, will it?
See, absent or present doesn't matter much. If you're attending, maybe if you're attending directly, so what happens is that present or absent is for first 5 days, it might vary a lot because people are directly joining from a link. But if you are joining from the sixth session, from this LMS portal, the present, I mean, that present or absent information would be auto updated. So you can direct, and all that 5 sessions would be automatically added. It would be added to the paid sessions also because, right, you have to go back and check the last first 5 days recordings also because we are continuing. We are not from the sixth session. We are not again starting from the very first thing, right? It's just a continuity. So you would be automatically adjusted with that first 5 sessions, and from the sixth session, we try to check who is present, who is absent. See, I'm not bothered most about present or absent. The thing is, if you're absent also at some point of time, you again go back and check the recording.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Any
in some other institutions, they have some this attendance mandatory for their placements and all those stuff. So I'm just checking whether this will impact or not. That's it. Yeah.
mandatory, see, even if we do mandatory and if you have some work on a particular day, we cannot force you to join, right? The only thing is, I would always request that if you're missing some sessions, by end of that week, you try to cover. End of week, not even the end of the day. If you still have time on that particular day, you can go back and check the recording. That's well and good, right? I
Yeah.
don't want people to miss the sessions. That's the only thing. We cannot force anyone, right? It's their understanding or responsibility.
Got it.
Yeah. Any other questions? With respect to login, with respect to, and see, I mean, if I go to this particular session only, and I'm in the lessons option, I have shared multiple data sets. I have shared sample resumes. Also, we try to share some sample resumes, some project related information, some Azure cloud notes. So whatever we are discussing, I try to share it with you along with the recordings. And once you enroll for this course also, you would be part of certain WhatsApp group. There also, I try to share multiple things, right? Your interview preparation questions, some PDF files, some documents. So I try to share it in the WhatsApp group as well, so that it's very easy. You can access it from your mobile, right? So there are options, right? I've shared multiple things here, right? There are many things which I've shared. This is for previous batch, but yeah, the same happens with your batch as well. And the files which I've shared is a zip file. It's a compressed file. Within that file, you might find 3 to 4 different files also. So you need to extract them. These are all the zip files. I make sure that the files are compressed because it is easy to download and you can easily check it from your system. You can uncompress or you can get all the files, right? Multiple files are there within that compressed file, right? So the same would be for this batch as well. Okay. So
And
for time being,
one last thing, we can then jump onto the course. So
Mhm.
in between, while practicing, if someone has any doubt, so they can post their queries in their WhatsApp group, or they have to write an email.
No. Queries you need not do send an email or all that stuff. If okay, in the live sessions, you can ask it by end of the session or
Right,
maybe at that particular time only. But
right,
if you feel right while practicing, I have got that question. Uh, so while practicing in the sense, I mean that particular live session is already completed. So you are free to ask the question in the WhatsApp group itself. If
okay,
anything which is related to login, you're not able to log in, you're not able to access the course or something, the video is not available in that recording. Sometimes it happens, right? There might be some glitch or there might be some problem. So in that case, if you want a support, in that case, you can send an email.
understood.
With respect to sessions, technical questions, yeah, I mean, the group is created for that purpose only, right? So, okay, you can ask in the group itself.
Okay.
Yeah. How can we get added to that group, Ritesh? Just once we pay the
Once
payment
you
only.
enroll, automatically you will be added. From the day one itself, you will be automatically added. That means if you're enrolling on Monday, if you're enrolling on Tuesday, next week, in that case, right, we start with the paid sessions from next week, right? Until Friday, anyways, the first 5 sessions are free. But post that, if you're enrolling, you will be automatically added. Once you enroll, the very next step is to add your mobile or contact number to that WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay.
Ritesh,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
uh, sorry. So for example, like the first 5 sessions are free. So, and what if, like, if there is any slight delay, for example, let's assume next week, if I pay fees by Wednesday or Thursday, so won't be, I mean, I won't be allowed to
Mhm.
attend the session till, or how is it until I pay the fees?
Okay. So that's how the process is, but it doesn't mean that you will be skipped from the sixth session or seventh session. You will always get that recording back. Right now,
Okay.
how do you get that access? How that payment can be done? I'll show that option as well. But the best people to answer is the KSR team. I mean, technical point of view, if you have any questions, I'm right here. From
Okay.
non-technical, how to access the payment related to, I mean, stuff. If the payment is not getting succeeded, if you're stuck somewhere or not able to understand how that payment happens, you can contact our team. Visit our website. You have multiple contacts there mentioned. If one of them is not picking up the phone, they will definitely call you back.
Okay.
Okay, so I've just opened the Power BI desktop. So what we were discussing yesterday, with that continuity, well, let's try to, proceed further. So once you open this, I mean, as I've said, you have to always open a blank report. Now, just a simple question. How many of you are able to see your visualization tab in the above ribbon bar? Is there anyone who is viewing that visualization tab in the above ribbon bar? If that is the case, there are some steps which we have to follow. Now, from the day one itself, let's make a habit that you should have the visualization tab towards right only. Towards right only, it should be present because it's a good habit. You can easily drag and drop. From the ribbon bar, it's kind of difficult. Difficult in the sense it's not that easy, but yeah, the question is, uh, visualization pane has to be towards right. That's what the standard, the user interface of that Power BI desktop is. So if it is above in the ribbon bar, maybe we can go back and check. Anupriya, is it for you? Is it available at the above ribbon bar?
Yes, 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 it is available.
Okay. Now, just a moment. So if that is the case, so sorry. So once you open this Power View also, or once you're opening this Power BI desktop, I mean, in the ribbon bar, you have options, right? Home, insert, modeling view, optimize, help, and external tools. Towards left, there's this option called as file. If you click on this, it would open a different pane. Different pane in the sense you have different options here. So you have to come down towards left. Options and settings. Click on this. Go to the options. It would open a new window here where you have multiple options, right? Local and global. You have both options there. So global, this is the global, and local means your current file. So in this global options, if you come down to preview features in the global, you have an option called as preview features. In this preview features, there is this option called as on object interaction. For people who are getting that visualization pane in the above ribbon bar, for you, this might be already auto checked in. So you have to uncheck this option. You have to uncheck. Right. So once you uncheck this option, click on OK and restart your Power BI desktop. You can close it and again start that Power BI desktop. Automatically, visualization pane will come towards right. It would automatically come towards right. Now, there are many options which are available, right? Now, if I see in this preview also, in this preview, we have an option. The towards left, we have seen, right? There are three important options: report, table, model. But along with this, for few of you, you might see the other two options like DAX and some T-SQL modes. So even that modes are also available, or if you want to uncheck that options, right? These two windows, DAX and T-SQL views or some other views, you can uncheck it from the preview features option. So here you can check there are many options. So there would be one of the option which would help you or which would remove that DAX view or T-SQL view, right? So you have to check this, which option is there. There are many checkboxes which are available. For now, if you feel that visualization pane is available in the ribbon bar, uncheck the on object interaction. Uncheck this option and you can restart your Power BI desktop. Restart in the sense you close it again, reopen it. That's it. It would be automatically resetted and the visualization pane will come towards right. Right. For now, check this option. We will also discuss the other options, whatever options, right? Which options we want. If you want to get some additional updates also, you can automatically get it from these checkboxes also. There are many options, right? Along with this preview features, there are many options. If you go to this updates, Power BI desktop would be automatically updated depending on if there are any updates, right? Microsoft releases monthly updates. It is not required that you should always update it on monthly basis, but every quarterly also, if you're updating this Power BI desktop which you have downloaded, that would be more than enough. Right now, for now, this is what we were discussing, the complete visualization or the complete Power View option. Now, in today's session, we'll try to see how do we connect multiple data sources. I mean, what all data sources available, how to connect any particular data source, how to get a data, and if we feel what all transformations need to be done, right? That is our primary aim. Now, we will not jump to transformation in the very first, pace of learning. Our first piece of learning would be we will understand what every visual does, right? What is the behavior of every visual? Then we will go back once we complete all default visuals and all the market. I mean, the visuals which can primarily be used from the marketplace. So there is this option called as marketplace also. What is that marketplace? We'll try to discuss it. But we will first start with visualization understanding. For first 10 days, somewhere around, we'll completely cover every visual. Along with visual, there are some other aspects also we'll try to cover. And post that, we will see Power Query importance. right? Power Query is for data transformation. So we'll also try to see Power Query importance, but post first 10 sessions. Now, let's understand how do we connect multiple data sets, right? How do we connect multiple data sources? Now we are inside Power View. We are inside Power View, right? In Power View only, you have Power Map, Power Q&A, all these options. Power BI mobile apps also, you will get the offline version, development version from the point of view. So all these options are within the Power View. In this Power View, if you are inside a Home tab, you will get an option called as Get Data. Now, along with Get Data, there are some other options also. That means in the Home tab, there are sub tabs like Data, Queries, Insert, Calculations, Sensitivity, Share, and Copilot. You also have a clipboard. Clipboard in the sense, you will get these options in the Paint window also. In your Windows, we have a Paint application, right? In the Paint also, you will get these options. But in the Data tab, data means what? How to get the data, how to connect the data, right? We have a data pane here towards right. So if you want to connect any specific data, you want to use this Home tab only. If you are the options which are next to Get Data, these are all the frequently connected data or data sources. These are all the frequently connected data sources to the Power BI. Now, not every time we can use an Excel, right? It might be CSV file, it might be some database. So SQL Server is one of the database. That there are many other databases like Oracle, we have Postgre, we have IBM DB2, we have MySQL, right? There are many databases. So is it that only these options are there? No, these are default frequently used options. It doesn't mean that you can only connect these many types. You have an option called as Get Data. Click on this drop down. You can see some drop down, right? So click on this drop down and you will get the list of common data sources which are connectable to the Power BI. These are common. As I've mentioned yesterday, there are more than 200 plus data sources which you can connect. Now, is it that all 200 are displayed here? No. You have to click on more option. It would open a different window or a different pane. Here you can check how many data sources you can connect. There are many options, many. Now, you are default in the All tab. Along with this all, you have subdivisions. Like if you only want to connect any databases, you can come down, right? In the All tab, you might get confused. In the All also, you will have database, everything. All the data sources which Power BI supports are listed in this All section. But if you only want to check what all databases I can connect, you can come down to this subtype called as databases. So these many databases you can connect. These many databases you can connect. So you have that flexibility to connect these many databases. It is not that if you want to connect any particular cloud, which is maybe an AWS cloud, maybe a Google cloud, a database is hosted on that Google or database is hosted on the AWS. You cannot connect. Still, you have an option. You can connect to Google BigQuery also, and you can connect Amazon Redshift as well. These are also databases, right? It is not that you can only connect Azure. You can still connect some other cloud services to the Power BI. That flexibility is also there. Right? So there are many options in the databases. If you want to connect any Azure cloud services, these many options are there. You need to only go down to this Azure option and you can connect to any of these Azure services. Right? So options, right? If you want to connect to any Power Platform environment, you can connect to this Power Platform environment. So all the options, even you can connect to some DevOps also, DevOps boards as well, Azure DevOps or some other boards, Jira board also you can connect. You can still connect your Jira as well. Now, is it possible to connect to Jira? I'm not able to find that Jira option, right? You can simply search. The option which you're not able to find in the above section, you can simply search. So there is no direct connector for Jira, but Jira is where it is hosted in a particular cloud, right? Jira is itself an application where you can track your project related information, how the project is going on, whether we are on track, our work items are clearly assigned. So it is hosted on browser, right? If that Jira connector is not available, how do I connect that? I mean, not only Jira, but if I want to connect particular source, if it is not available directly, if that is hosted on cloud, you can get the web URL. You can come down to this online service. If not online service, there is this option called as web. If you click on this web, it can import anything if you directly mention the web URL. From that URL also, whatever is visible, right? If your Jira is hosted on online cloud or some application, from that Jira URL also, you can paste that web URL and you can get the information. So it doesn't mean if any connector is not available, you cannot directly connect to Power BI. You can still connect with their URL as well, right? So more options, all the options are available inside this all tab. You can come down and check. All the options are clearly mentioned. There are many options. By default, even Power BI or even Microsoft is releasing many updates to connect multiple data sources, even if it is not part of it. For that case, you can use that web URL, the last option. Now, let's try to connect some data, right? Let's try to connect some data and let's try to see how the data flows, whether it is directly coming into this Power View or whether it comes from the Power Query component, right? So that is also equally important. So let's try to see the diagrammatic representation of the Power BI components or Power BI desktop components first. And then again, we'll try to see how the data flows from which component to which component. Now, the complete window, this is the complete Power BI desktop. Forget about my drawing, but this is the complete Power BI desktop. Now, in this, just a second. So in this complete Power BI desktop, I mean, assume this has complete Power BI desktop app. Right, this is your complete Power BI desktop app or desktop application. App in the sense it's an application, right? So in this application, we have just started with Power View, PV. I'll keep it as PV, which is Power View. Inside this Power View only, you will get some other components like Power Map, Power Q&A, and Power BI mobile development, that particular mobile development component, right? And prior to this, there is a Power Query, PQ, Power Query. And inside this Power Query only, you will get Power Pivot and Unpivot, both that options. Both in the sense it's one and the same. Power Pivot only will have pivot and unpivot, both the options available. So this is how the exact components of a Power BI desktop look like, right? So in that case, if I'm trying to connect, right, you have option to connect data to Power View also, and you have option to connect data to the Power Query also. You can connect to Power Query as well, or you can connect to Power View. The option which we have explored, this is for Power View, right? I'm trying to connect it to Power View. But if I'm directly trying to connect, or if I'm directly trying to get any data to the Power View, whether it will only directly come to Power View or whether it comes from Power Query to Power, because Power Query is prior to Power View, right? It is used for data transformation. So does it, all these components are interconnected to each other? That is what our first understanding is. So whether all these components are interconnected, right? Let's try to understand that as well. So just give me a second. Let me see what data set I can look. Okay, my bad. I'm trying to check my local directory, what all files are available. Okay, cool. So let me go back. And I have some Excel file. I have some Excel file available with me. I want to connect that Excel file. Now, whether that Excel file, what I have, does it have all the information or not? I mean, what kind of information is present? Let's try to open that Excel file also parallelly, and I'll also try to connect it to the Power BI. So I'm trying to open an Excel file, which I already have. Let this open. And in Excel, we can have multiple sheets, right? One Excel doesn't have only one sheet. It can have 20 sheets or 30 sheets also. I have this movies data set, which is available with me. It's a movies information. And in this particular Excel, there are sub sheets also, right? Movies is one sheet, financials is one sheet, actors is one sheet. I mean, some other information is also present in the other two sheets. So if I am trying to connect to this Excel, will I be able to connect only one file or will I be able to connect all these? I mean, this is one table, this is one table, this is one table, this is one table. So there are multiple tables which are present. Whether I'll be able to connect only one table or multiple tables. Let's try to see, right? I've just opened the Excel, which I've checking whether I can directly connect it to Power BI. Any questions? I guess someone is speaking. Okay. So it's an Excel file, right? So let me click on this Excel connect. Let me click on this Excel connect. Now it is our responsibility to check, go back and check what you are trying to connect, whether it's a Excel or whether it's a CSV file. There can be a CSV file also, right? And that CSV file also opens in the Excel only. But we have to go back and see whether it's an Excel or a CSV. Let's click on connect. So it would give you browse option. Browse option it will give. Now let me go to my data set and here I have this movies file and I'm trying to open it. And it will only, see if you have clicked on Excel connector, it will only show you what all Excel files are there. But if you feel the file which I have opened, it's an CSV file, you can again change. You have an option here, right? It is only displaying all the Excel files because we have selected Excel connector. It doesn't mean that you cannot connect a CSV file. You can still connect. You can come down to all files. See, it will display all the files, including PDF, images, everything it will display. But our primary source is Excel, right? So let me click on open. Now it would display all the files which are present inside this movies data. So it will load some time and it would open a new window. Let's see what it opens. See, automatically it is displaying all the tables which are present in it. Actors, financials, languages, movie actor and movies. That means if you're able to connect to Excel and if it has multiple sheets present in it, Power BI is smart enough to check how many tables or sheets are present in it. It would automatically load all that sheets. But I'm least bothered about the all other information. Let's try to load this movies information. I'll only load this movies information. For now, I'll only load this movies information. So let me click on movies. I want this table to be loaded. And once you click on it, you will get some options below. Load, transform data, and cancel. Now, cancel is straightforward. Whatever you have opened, you want to cancel it, it would automatically close. Now, the other two options, what is load and what is transform data? See, whenever you are connecting any specific file to Power View, or even if it's a Power Query, all these components are interrelated to each other. Even though these three components are part of Power View and this component is part of Power Query, that means Power View and Power Query are the biggest or the most important components in the Power BI desktop. If you are connecting any file to Power View also, it has to always come from Power Query only. It will always come from Power Query. And if you're connecting any file to Power Query, it will always go to the Power View. because in Power View only you can create the visuals. In Power Query, you can transform the data. If you're not transforming it also, it will always come from that Power Query only. How? Again, I'll go back. See, if I click on load, you will always stay in the Power View. Let me click on load. You will stay in the Power View only. Right? It would not open that Power Query editor, but it will always come from that Power Query editor. That data will always come from the Power Query editor, because that is the first component. That is the first, what you say, the Power BI desktop's view from where the data should come, and it should come to the Power View in the second option. Right now, the data is loaded, and if you can see in the data tab, something is getting refreshed. You will get that movies option, and you can see this is the table. So inside this table, if I expand, these are all the columns which are available. These are all the columns which are available. Now we have clicked on that load option. We have clicked on that load option. What I have to do, again, let me try to see if I click on transform option, what is the difference? What I'll do, I'll again go to the get data Excel workbook, and let me connect to that movies DB. Let this open, and I'll try to load some other table. Along with movies, I'll try to load some other table. What table I can do? Maybe I load this financial. I load this financial. Now, rather loading, I'll click on this transform data. So if I click on transform data, it would always open that Power Query editor simultaneously. See, it has opened that Power Query editor. And you can see the financial is available in the Power Query editor. Now, the big question is, if I have directly loaded any table, which is movies table, in the Power View, how come that table is also visible in the Power Query? As I've said, every component is interconnected to each other. If you're loading any table to the Power View also, it will always come from the Power Query only. That would be always present in the Power Query. That movies table is already present in the Power Query. So whatever you are trying to connect, even though you're connecting for Power View, but if you don't want to do any transformations, you can directly load it to Power View, but still it will come from Power Query. And if you want to do some transformations like data cleaning, you want to, if the data is not appropriate, it is not correct, right? It is not up to the mark. You want to do some transformations. So how do you do that transformations? You have to come to Power Query editor only, right? So in that case, you need to click the transform option. So both the tables are from transform, both the tables are from Power Query editor. Now, having been opened the Power Query editor, the Power View will not understand whether what tables are present in Power Query, because already you loaded movies to Power View, but it will come from Power Query. But if I'm loading any data to Power Query, Power View will not understand what you have loaded until and unless you save it. So what I'll do, anyways, we have first loaded the movies table, and movies table is also available in the Power View. You see, this is Power View. And if I've loaded financial, it is available in Power Query, but why is it not available in Power View? Because we haven't saved the information, right? In Power Query, you have to save. If you click on load, it will auto save and it will come to the Power View from the Power Query. But if you're not saving, if you're opening that Power Query editor, and if you're not saving a file, you have to save it, only then it would be available in the Power View, the front end option. How to save this? See, it is reflecting here also. There are pending changes in your queries that haven't been applied. That means you have loaded some new table or you have done some transformations which haven't been applied. That is the reason you will not be able to see all the tables here or all the latest information. So I'll again go back. Let's see in the leftmost corner, if you're in the home tab, in Power Query Editor also you have a ribbon bar. And in ribbon bar, there are many options. Yesterday, all these options were grayed out, right? None of the option was, I mean, if I click on any of these options, it was not able to, I was not able to click on it because we didn't had any table. Until and unless you load any particular table to the Power BI, you cannot get these options enabled. Everything will be grayed out. If you load some table or if you load some information, these options will automatically come. So I have to save, right? So you need to go to the home tab. I mean, default, you are the home tab only. You have this option called as close and apply. you have a drop down. Once you click on drop down, you have 3 sub options. Close means it will not apply the changes. Apply means whatever changes, whatever updates we have made in the Power Query, that would be applied in the front end Power View also. And close and apply means it will apply and it will close this Power Query editor. Now, I want this Power Query editor to be simultaneously opened along with Power View. So I'll only apply the change. I'll not close this. See, it is evaluating and it will automatically movies got updated first because I have loaded movies. Now I have loaded financials. And if I go back to the Power View, you can see both the tables are available. Why? Because I have saved that information in the Power Query. So whatever you are connecting to the Power View also, it will automatically come from Power Query and it will be auto saved in the Power Query. You need not save. But if you're opening the transform option, in that case, you will have to go back and save that in the Power Query so that it is visible in the Power View for the visualization purpose. Right now, get data option was available here in the Power View. And if I go to Power Query, in Power Query also, in the Home tab, you have an option called as New Source. You have to click on it and you have to click on more options. It would open that same window again. You can connect from the Power Query as well. All the data sources which you are able to connect from the Power View, all the data sources you can directly connect from Power Query as well. But if you're connecting to Power Query, you have to save this and only in that case, it would be available in the Power View front end. If you're not saving it, it will not come. So options both are interconnected. There is no difference between, there is no, what you say, connectivity is not there. No, there is a connectivity. If you're connecting anything to Power Query, you have to save and come down to Power View. If you're directly connecting to Power View, it will be auto saved in the Power Query and it will come to the Power View. That's how the relationship is there, or that's how these two components are related to each other.
So whenever I select any data source, if I by default if I select transform, it will open in Power Query.
Power Query editor. Yes. Transform is what? Data transformation or data clean. Right. So you have that get data and you have new source option here in the Power Query. Both are same. Both are same. There's nothing different. Now, the big question is, if I've loaded the data, I have data here, I have data. Okay, now let's see what views we have. See, anyways, your default in the report view, right? The information which you can check here in the Power Query is what you can check all the records. Whatever data we have loaded, you can check all the records. And you can do some data transformations, right? There are many data transformations options, remove columns, keep rows. These are very basic options, but along with this, there are many complex options which are available, but we'll not explore this first. We'll explore visuals first, and then we'll come down to the transformation. Because if I start with transformation, half of the people will stop learning Power BI because the transformations are slightly difficult to understand. The first thing is you need to adapt the user interface of Power BI first. If you're getting used to it, then you can easily come down and check the transformations. Now, where do I create visuals? Visuals are created in the Power View. You have to drag and drop a visual and you can create a visual. If I go to the table view, how a table view, the information look like? See, the table view is also similar like Power Query only, right? In Power Query, you can see the information in the table format, but there is a difference. In Power Query, you can clean the data, whereas in the Power View table view option, you cannot clean the data. You cannot clean the data. If I go to the Home tab also, see, if you want to clean any data, you have to click on transform only and it will again come back to the Power Query editor. Not all the options which are available in the Power Query are available in the table view of this Power View. Table view is just that how a table looks like. If you have transformed the data, see in Power Query, the data is not transformed. If you want to transform, you have to transform it and you have to save it. Until and unless you won't save, it will not be available in the front end. So this is all updated data and this is what you can call it as a raw data. In Power Query, it's more a kind of raw data, right? In Power View, it's all updated and cleaned data. So that is the table view of Power BI. And if I come down to model view, see, this is how a modeling looks like. Now I haven't created any modeling. Power BI is smart enough to create its own modeling, but auto modeling is default feature of Power BI, which is not recommended because not every time it will create a very good modeling, right? It is not always correct. You need to understand the tables, how the tables are related to each other, and then you have to come down and create your own data model. You can change your modeling also. So this is auto created. I can delete this and I can create my own relationship also if I want. But we'll not discuss relationship now. For now, what our importance is to understand some visuals. We have to start with the visuals understanding. Now, anyways, I've loaded two tables, right? Let's see what visuals we have, or how do I create this visual. Now, visuals are created inside this white space. And yesterday we have seen, right, you can create multiple pages also, right? You can end up creating multiple pages as well. Now, whenever I drag and drop certain visual, now drag and drop means, let's suppose I'll start with the very first visual, which is stacked bar chart. I'll get this visual here, right? I'm trying to drag that visual, right? I'm trying to drag that visual. See, dragging will not work. What you have to do, you have to click on that visual will automatically come. You have to click on that. Whichever visual you want, it will automatically come. So if I want to get one more visual, you may need not select this, because if I'm selecting, this is a bar chart, and the very the second visual is the column chart. If you are auto selected that visual and you are changing the options here, it will automatically change in that same view only. I mean, whatever visual we have selected, it will automatically change. But I want to get a new visual, right? So this was my first visual. I want to get one more visual. You have to use this option called as column chart. So automatically a new visual will come below or towards the right of it. Depending on the white space, Power BI is smart enough where to get that visual. Now you can adjust it. You can have your cursor on it with your mouse. You can easily adjust it. You can move it. With all the white space, what you have, you can easily move it. And whenever I open a visual, right, whenever I get some visual, see, earlier I was not getting any options here. But if I click here, for this visual, you need these many options. These many options are required. So you have to drag and drop some information to these options. Only then this visual will give you some representation. What is that particular information about? Right. So this is bar chart. You can easily see. And whenever I click on any particular, if you don't know what that visual is, you have to only click on that visual. Automatically that visual will be highlighted here. So you can easily see this is a stacked bar chart. This is a stacked column chart. You can easily view that. Right. So Power BI user interface, very easy. Click on that visual will come in the white space, and you can easily adjust the size also. You want to increase the size, right? You have a cursor, increase the size, fit wherever you want, you can fit that size. Right. So you have full flexibility here. Full flexibility as a developer, you can do all these things. Now, let's start with very basic understanding. And whenever I get any visual, right, there is this filter tab. There is this filter tab. You have to automatically minimize it. For now, it is not required. We'll not discuss this. What our first aim is to understand what these bar and column charts are. So what is this bar and column chart? And if you see, there are some axes, right? X-axis, Y-axis. There is this legend. There is a small multiple. And if I change the visual also, both of them as X and Y-axis. The only thing is in bar chart, Y-axis is coming first, and in column chart, X-axis is coming first. But both of them has X and Y-axis. Now, what all these are? You need to understand, you need to go back to your schooling days, that what is X-axis and what is Y-axis. From your schooling days, right? You need to grasp that. What you have learned in the school, everything we will be revising here. All the visuals are related to your schooling understanding only. Right? So what is X-axis and what is Y? The chart looks like this. I mean, chart has two axes. Now here, what is X and what is Y, we need to understand. See, what is bar chart? Bar chart is something like this. It will create some bars. And what is column chart? Column chart will create from top to, this is how column chart looks like. This is how column chart looks like. So there is a slight difference. From left to right, it is bar chart. From top to bottom, it is a column chart. That's the only difference, nothing. There is no other difference between a bar and a column. From top to bottom, it is column. From left to right, it is a bar chart. Now we need to understand that which is the x-axis and which is the y-axis, right? Which is the x-axis and which is the y-axis. Now, from the point of how that visual is created, we cannot directly assume that every time the usually what is x-axis or where the x-axis is present. Usually, I'm not saying every time. Let me show you that as
So this sleeping line is x-axis, standing line is y-axis.
most of the time this is x-axis.
Yeah.
That's how we assume. This is x and this is y-axis. What is axis? Axis is where you show some particular information. Without axis, you cannot show any information, right? So without x and y axis information, you cannot show any bar or column chart. So usually what we understand is this is x-axis and this is y-axis. But this is best suitable for a column chart. If I'm trying to create a column chart like this, these are all the column charts. This is a column chart, right? So if I'm trying to create a column chart, this will be x-axis and this will be y-axis. Yes. But if I create a bar chart, right? Bar chart flows like this. From left to right, it flows. So in that case also, this is x-axis only. In that case also, in case of bar chart also, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Now, what information should be present in which axis? Let's try to see. I'll again go back. Let me first start with column chart because column chart is kind of easier or very straightforward with comparison to bar chart. Bar chart is from left to right. That's still fine. We'll try to see. Now in column chart, what should be present in x-axis and what should be present in y-axis, we need to understand. Right? We need to understand. Now, how do I understand it? How do I understand? So if I drag and drop some, do we have anything called as movie name? Title. I'll drag this title to the title is the movie name. How do I check? You can go to the table view and you can check. You need to click on movies. Title is the movie name. Title is the movie name. I'll again go back and I will use this title in the x-axis. Now there is nothing coming, right? Without x and y, there is no column chart. You need to have both the conditions satisfied. That means you need to have both the options to get some data. So in y-axis, what should be present in y-axis? If I come down to this view, let's suppose in the x-axis, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. How do I show a column? A column can be shown if it is a numeric value, right? If it's a numeric value, it always starts from 0 here, and you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in x-axis, it is recommended to take some categorical data. Oh, categorical or character data, right? What is our character data? Movie name is our character data. And in y-axis, it is recommended to take some numerical information. Only then that column will come, right? If I take some categorical information in the y-axis also, how will it assume that a column should come? Column will not come for A, B, C, right? Column will come from numerical information. For a particular A, what is that numerical bar? For a particular B, what is that bar? Bar in the sense, what is that column from top to bottom? So there should be numerical data in case of y-axis. So what numerical? Let's see, right? If I take some categorical data, whether it will work or not, we'll try to see that as well. So in x-axis, I've taken title. In y-axis, I will take studio. Let's see. Studio is what? It's a categorical data. It's not a numerical data. I'll again go back to the table view. And in the movies tab, if you see, studio is the categorical data. It is not numerical. Language ID is numerical. IMDb rating is numerical. Release year is numerical. So I'll again go back. and get this studio in the y-axis. And you see the difference. Whenever I get this studio, automatically it is getting converted to the numerical information. Count of studio. I've just dragged and dropped studio, but how come it is connecting or how come it is converting it to count? The primary behavior of a column chart is x-axis should be always categorical value and y-axis should be always numerical value. If you take some categorical data also, it will be automatically converted to numerical, like count, sum. So that means I cannot take studio. Even if I take studio, it will be count of studio, which is not correct, right? So I'll remove this and I'll try to take IMDb rating. IMDb rating, is it a categorical data or is it a numerical data? Let's see. I have to click on this IMDb. It's a text value only. But ideally, this is numeric, right? There is some null. There is some null. There is some null. That is the reason. Is it numeric? Okay. What I'll do for now, let's understand. I will change this to whole number. I will change this to whole number. Now, why can't I change? Because there is some null value, right? That is the reason it is taking. So our data is not cleaned. That means our data is not cleaned. This is the null. Null is what? Null is a categorical, NULL, it's a categorical value, right? That is the reason I cannot change this data type. How to change data type? That can be done in the Power Query editor easily. Because Power Query editor is where you can transform the data. But let's first understand, right? The visual, from the visual point of view, I need to get some numerical information. I want some numerical. So I can randomly drag and drop some numerical data. Even movie ID is numerical. So if I take some numerical data, it is automatically getting some column. It is automatically getting some column. And if you see this visual, the visual is not easily readable, right? The information is very small. It is very clustered, right? It is very grouped together as well. And the movie names are also not completely visible because there might be some movie name which is very big, right? If the movie name is of 1 word, 2 words, it is visible. But if it's of 3, 4 words, it's a very big name, it is not visible, right? So the most important part in Power BI from the visualization point of view is first understand that visual. What needs to be present in x-axis? What needs to be present in y-axis? Only in that case you can show that information. And if you're showing that information, if it is okay, that means you have correctly shown some categorical in x-axis and you have correctly mentioned some numerical in the y-axis. But if that data is not readable, then it is of no use. The data is not readable. It is of no use, right? So the most important part is the data should be readable. It should be easily readable. Now, that means our data set has certain drawbacks. I mean, I have to connect two tables. In that case, I can get some revenue. See, if I drag a revenue is a numerical data. How to identify which is categorical and what is numerical from the Power View itself directly is either you go to the table view and either you click on the column, it will display what is the data type of it. Or else in the front end only, I mean, the report view only you want to check. For all the numerical data, you will get this summarization item. Budget is numerical, movie ID is numerical, revenue is numerical, language ID is numerical, movie ID is numerical, and release year is numerical. Whereas all others are a categorical information because there is no summarization icon. This is summarization icon. That E, kind of E like icon, right? This is summarization icon. So in y-axis, we should have numeric data. So if I drag revenue, right? How come for all the movies revenue is only 150K? Right? For all the movies, it is 150 only, right? Same value. If I'm trying to hover on the columns, it is same. Why? Because both the columns are coming from two different tables and there is no relationship. For now, our aim is to understand the visual, right? So we are not focusing on relationship. So what I'll do, let me again go back and get some different data set so that I can show you how exactly this particular column chart looks like. So what I'll do, I'll try to connect some data from, I have this Superstore data. Let's see which data set is correct. Let's try to understand. And I know the data, I mean, the data coming from that CSV file is cleaned data. It will display some records for our understanding that how the table looks like. And let me click on load. I'll not use transform. I'll directly click on load. It will automatically save in the Power Query and it will come in the front end. Right? So that table is automatically coming in the front end. So I'll remove this title, I'll remove this revenue, and I will get some information from the sample superstore. What I will get, let me get some segment. Segment is categorical data. See, there is no summarization icon. And along with this segment, I will get in y-axis, I will get some numeric information, which is sales. This is your exact column chart. The data is readable. Earlier, the movie names were not readable. Now here, the name of that segment is also readable. Why? Because there are only 3 segments, right? But if I compress this, is this chart readable or is this chart understandable? There is some chart, but what is this chart giving or what is the chart reflecting? There's nothing. I mean, you cannot compress this chart so much that the names itself are not visible. Readability is the most important factor. So if I increase it, still if I increase it from these columns which we have, it is very difficult to understand. So make sure the visual size is pretty good enough and you can compress it from left to right also if you right. This is more readable, right? Even if it is very compressed in the small size, but this is more readable. So for a column chart, X and Y axis are most important components. Now, what is legend? What is small multiple? We'll try to discuss afterwards. Let's switch to the bar chart. What is the difference between a column and bar? In case of bar chart, it is left to right. But if I go above, what is the bar chart? This is the bar chart. The second condition. Is it that in the bar chart also, we will take some categorical data in the x-axis and numerical data in the y-axis? Will it be the same? No, right? Because in column, it is top to bottom, but in bar, it is left to right. So whatever categorical data I have taken in the column chart, that categorical data will come into y-axis. If it is in x-axis of column chart, that categorical data will come in y-axis and the numerical data will come in x-axis, right? Because this is A bar, this is B bar, this is C bar. And here in the x-axis, it will have 1, 2, 3. Depending on the numerical size, it will show that bar. So that's the only difference between a bar chart and column chart. In column chart, it is from top to bottom. So x-axis will have categorical data and y-axis will have numerical data. Whereas in case of bar chart, y-axis will have categorical data and x-axis will have numerical data. So if I go to the bar chart, whenever I click on that bar chart, y-axis is coming first. That means the Power BI is smart enough, it is pushing the user use categorical data in the y-axis and then use numerical data in the x-axis. See, if you still take some categorical data in vice versa, maybe if I go to the column chart and sales is numeric, but I will take a state. State is what? State is a categorical data. I'll take the state to the y-axis. Even though I am taking a state, it is a categorical data, but it is taking count of state. That means by default in the y-axis, you need to have numeric for the column chart. Even though if you're taking some categorical, it will automatically change it to count of state, sum of states, number of states, average of something which is numeric, it will be automatically converted. And count of state is not correct. I mean, for some cases, it might be used that in consumer segment, how many states are there? In corporate segment, how many states are there? But it is not good, right? It is not that good. So always go with numeric information. Same goes with the bar chart. In bar chart, y-axis will have categorical information, not x. Because from left to right, it is flowing. So left to right means from y-axis, it will flow. But from the x-axis numerical information, it will flow that bar, how long that information is. So I'll again go back. And in the bar chart for the x-axis, I will try to take segment and not in the x, it's y. Y is where I need to take categorical. And in the x-axis, I'll try to take sales. You can easily spot the difference, right? From left to right and from top to bottom. That's the difference. And the data should be readable. If you're compressing it, the data should be easily readable. Now, how cool the Power BI is, if I select corporate here, automatically the other visual is also getting highlighted to corporate. That means all the visuals which I try to take in the Power BI, if everything is auto-connected, even your table. I mean, all the columns are coming from a same table. But if the columns are also coming from different tables, and if there is a relationship, all the visuals in Power BI has a interactivity. That means if you click on any specific visual, depending on the selection what you have done, all other visuals are auto connected also, and it would be interactive as well. So all other visuals will also have that interactivity. Right, so this is bar chart and this is column chart. There is the only differences in case of bar, y-axis will come categorical and x-axis will come numeric. In case of column, x-axis will come categorical and y-axis will come. That's the only difference. You need to understand that difference, how that axis works. X and Y are same. The only thing is how you're displaying that information. Now, why are these two charts called as stacked bar chart and stacked column chart? If you see the third visual, this is clustered bar chart and clustered column chart. So what is stacked? What is clustered? We'll try to discuss. But what is stacked first, right? We have anyways taken these visuals. So whenever I click on this visual, right, there is this third option called as legend. Same goes with the bar chart. The bar chart also we have an option called as legend. What is this legend? Legend is where which will help us to understand whether it's a stacked or a clustered. Legend is also present in the clustered bar chart and clustered column chart as well. But legend will help us to understand whether what is stacked. What is the meaning of stacked? Can anyone guess? What is the meaning of stacked?
Single by single.
One above another.
Yes. Stacked is nothing but full pile of things.
Right.
That means everything is compressed. Right? One above the other, everything is compressed. Now, I don't feel nothing. There's no information which is compressed here. Right? I can't see any information which is clearly compressed. How do I get? Until and unless I won't add a legend, you will not feel that it's a stacked bar or a column chart. So how to add that? In a legend, which information should be added to this legend? Even that matters, right? Whether it's a categorical information or whether it's a numerical information. So what I will do, I will add region. Region is what? Region is a categorical data. I'll add it to the legend. Right? Depending on the consumer segment, there are 4 regions which are stacked in it. Stacked means one above the other. It is compressed. This is called as stacked bar or stacked column chart. And I'll go back to the bar chart and I'll again add that same region to the legend. This is stacked bar chart. Legend is what? Legend will add that stacked information. Now, I'll remove this region and let me add some numerical data. Let's suppose I want to add profit, which is numeric. This is working. The information is getting stacked, but it is very difficult to read that chart, right? Because there are multiple profit values. For every profit value, it is creating a stack of information in that column. And you can see whenever the number of values exceed, right, you will get this eye icon. What is this eye icon? too many values. That means there are so many unique profit values that you cannot show inside the stacked column chart. So if you're considering from the legend point of view for a column or a bar chart, it should always be categorical data. And even if it's a numerical data, the number of options should be readable, right? The options are not readable. How can you read this? What if I'm trying to hover also is nothing is coming, but if I'm trying to hover here, the information is clearly readable, right? Whereas if I'm trying to hover here, there are very, very small stacked columns. It is very difficult to read. And if I'm hovering on a home office, nothing is coming. Very small values, right? It's very difficult. That means legend should also have categorical information. Mostly categorical. If you take numeric also, that partitions should be less. What is this legend? It is creating a partition within this column, right? That stacked partition. It is creating a partition. Region is creating a partition, right? If I get this region, the blue color is central, dark is the east, south is some brownish or orangish shade, and west is some violet or purple shade, right? So these are the legend options. Legend means it is creating a partition like stacked partition. The chart itself is called a stacked, right? So it is stacked partition. So that's how these two visuals work. For every visual, there is a story behind it. You need to understand that what should be present in x-axis, what should be present in y-axis, and what we need to take in that legend. Right? If I remove this legend region and I'll get a state. State is also categorical data, but this is not readable, right? There are 50 states. That means 50 partitions are getting created in every segment. Even though legend is categorical data, but 50 states is not readable. So understand the importance of that legend. Legend is partition, stacked partition. Less the number of partitions, better readability. So you need to understand what needs to be taken in that legend. Region is good fit. If not region, shipment mode is also good fit. There are 3 shipment modes or 4 shipment modes. Even though the blue area, which is same day shipment mode, even this information is very small, but this is still readable, right? Partitions. Legend is what it's kind of creating a partition within that stacked column. It is kind of stacking everything in that column. Same happens with the bar chart. The only thing is left to right and top to bottom. So legend should be readable. Number of partitions should be less. Less the number of partitions, easier the data is to understand or readable. Readability matters a lot for every visual. Now, see, how do I change some settings, right? How do I change some settings? I want to change colors. I don't like these colors. These are default colors, right? Automatically that Power BI has taken the color. I don't like these colors. What you have to do, you have to click on that visual. Whenever you click on that visual, you will get these options, right? You are in the default add data to your visual. In the visualization pane, there is this second sub tab called as format your visual. Click on that. You have so many formatting options. So where will be that color present? I'll come down to columns, right? Columns are where the colors are there. But in columns, I can see only one color, right? Why? Because series is there. First class is this color. I don't like this color. I will go with a different shade. I can take this shade. Same day, I can take with some other shade in brown only. Again, I'll come down to second class. I'll try to take some different shade. Again, I'll select the standard class. I'll try to take a different shade. Right? All brown, but from dark brown to light brown. This is looking good, right? Rather than different colors, this is looking good. Color combination is also the most important factor. You cannot take colors which are totally different, nowhere related. Color should be of same tone, right? If you're selecting brown, select from dark to lighter shade. Right? This is for brown. But if I'm trying to select something like blue, right? I'll go with dark blue first. Then I'll go with some lighter blue. Then I will go with some again another lighter blue. Or is it? I have selected wrong thing. Maybe same day I'll go back and I'll select this one. I'll go back to the second class. I select this one. First day, the darkest color. And then the standard class will have the lightest shade. See, having a shade of similar color, it is very easy and it's very, I mean, even the end user can easily understand why to have different colors. You can still take if the end user wants a different colors, but color should be easily understandable. Right? You cannot take these colors, right? Blue is okay. But how come this orange is coming? How come this violet is coming? Okay, still violet can be related with blue, but how come this orange is coming or brown shade? So make sure that color combination also matters. The most important part is if you are able to read information, that information means the chart is okay. Once you read it also, how do you format that chart? You cannot take some different colors. You have to take a color which is more suitable. And there are many formatting options. So we'll not explore this today because for time being, we'll try to complete by 9:30, which is not feasible. But there are many options. So you can go back and explore this with all formatting options are there. But we have just covered first two visuals, which is stacked bar chart and stacked column chart. So if I cover these two visuals in next session, I can cover the other four visuals within 5 to 10 minutes also. Because the other four visuals are also similar like this. The only thing is representation is slightly different. That's it. There's nothing different or totally out of the box. The only representation is slightly different. So get used to the UI of this Power BI, drag and drop some visuals or get some data. I will share this sample superstore. I'll share some other data sets also if you want. There is this electronic store as well, along with the recordings. Now, how to check? You have to go to the recordings. Assuming that you already enrolled for that free course, you have to click on this course. You will be, and that would be available in your dashboard. And in order to check recordings, you need to be in the class records. But in order to check the files which I can download, you need to be in the lessons option. And in the lessons option, I'll create a new segment called as Power BI datasets. You can easily download that two files, which I'll be sharing. Right. So let me share it now itself. Just give me a moment. Okay, probably it will take few minutes to upload, but anyways. Now, there are people who are very eager to learn some other new components, right? What is that new component?
Hi, Rita.
Small multiples is. It's very easy. I mean, you can try this, but we will discuss this small multiple after completing all the default visuals. Because for almost every visual, not everyone, but almost 90% of the visuals has this small multiples option. Small multiples means it will create 4 different views. If I'm trying to get some information here, and that information has 4 partitions, like 4 regions, right? It will create 4 different small column charts. So small multiples is not that important as of now. I'll try to discuss it afterwards. As of now, there is not that importance of the small multiples, neither is the tooltip. Because we are getting default tooltip. What is tooltip? Whenever you are hovering on any particular column, right? Any particular partition, that stacked partition, it is displaying some white color pop-up comment-like option. This is the tooltip. This is called as tooltip. So whatever column, whatever information you're trying to take in X and Y axis, that information will be automatically coming in the tooltip. But apart from this, you want to add some additional information. Let's suppose I want to add a region, but that region should not be present in any partition or column. It should only come in the tooltip. You can add that region to the tooltip. And if I go, see that region is also coming in the tooltip. So tooltip means you can take some additional information which you would not like to have in that visual. But if I hover on a particular partition or a stacked component, that should be displayed in the tooltip information. That is called as tooltip. So we'll discuss more about tooltips and small multiples, but that are the more advanced understanding. First, understand the visuals. I'll take a pause. We're almost good for today, near 9:30. But if there are any questions, please try to let me know.
Yeah. Hi, Ritesh.
Yeah, Nirbha, good.
Yeah, for this visuals part, like if we are hovering over those visuals, then we can get the names, right? But is there any possibility to check uh, under the visuals, the names will be displayed over those, like instead of hovering over the, not this one, in the charts portion. There's a stack chart, bar chart, this one.
I'm in the chart only, right? So what are you trying to say? Maybe I'm not able to get it, or if I'm hovering here, right? Okay, here you're trying to say, okay.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, you can get the names, right? See, if I'm hovering on a particular chart, you can get the names of that chart.
But is there any
There is
possibility,
no possibility. You cannot see. The thing is, if you want to get the names here, this visualization pane will be so much big. In that case, the area where you can develop will be small, right? How do you get the names here? For that reason, they have compressed that option, right? Whenever you hover on that particular visual, it will display the name of that chart.
Okay.
And if you're continuously working on all these charts for next 15 days also, you can easily get used to any chart. Easily, because the charts are not that difficult. The only thing is you need to understand what is the behavior of that chart. So if you are getting used to it, nothing difficult, right? You can simply hover and see. I'll never go back and see which chart I'm looking at. I can directly check the icon and I can drag and drop because I'm used to that. Even you will get used to it if you're frequently using it. But you cannot get the complete names. You have to hover on that. Any other questions?
Hi, Ritesh. Regarding the data cleaning, right? So when we are creating charts and visualization next, so when do you recommend cleaning before starting before uploading the files itself,
Before
and when we
visualization
decide
only,
that?
you have to clean the data, because if you are getting some wrong data to the visual, it is not good, right? But whatever data
Okay.
we are using, our data is more clean. I mean, for visualization perspective, our data is clean. So that's the reason we are not doing any transformations or cleaning. But once we complete understanding the visuals, I will share some data sets which has some wrong data. The data is not correctly trimmed. It is not up to the mark. So on that data sets, you can work on the data clean.
Okay, got it.
For now, whatever data sets I'm using, it's all clean. Assuming that, that's the reason we are going to visualization. But first thing is you have to start with data clean.
Yeah, you'll have that example in upcoming sessions, right? But first, we'll clean the data and accordingly upload the file and then run, right?
Yes. First thing is, because Power Query is coming first, right? Prior to Power, if there is a Power Query. So we have to first clean the
Yeah.
data, then come down to the visual.
Okay.
Any other questions? See, how to check recordings, I've already told you. you need to log into this particular website, and then you can come down to the class records option, not in the lessons. You need to come down to class record. Explore the UI of our website. Some might get stuck, right? I'm in the lessons, I'm not getting class records. That's the reason I'm trying to say always explore. You have options here. Come down to class records. In the lessons, you will be able to download data sets, files which I've shared. Anything from here you can check. But if you want to check the class records, the live session which we discussed, that would be coming here. As of now, this is live, so that's the reason you are getting join now option. Once I close this, you will get view recording after 1 hour. Now, anyone who has joined today only for a particular session, today only who has joined, they want to get some insights about this course. Anyone who has joined today? If they have joined, probably they might have left. It's already 9:30, but still, if you have any other questions, maybe feel free to write it down. Today's third session, we still have 2 more sessions, Thursday and Friday. We can discuss that in next sessions as well, and we can clarify your doubts. Yeah, I guess someone was asking something, right? Okay, I don't see. Yeah, assuming that there are no further questions for today, we are good with what we discussed. Let's connect back tomorrow, and let's try to continue with what we have completed or what we have discussed today from the column and bar chart point of view. Yep. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day ahead. Let's connect back tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, Sonali, just a moment. My audio is blocked. No. Okay, please share some insights about scores curriculum. I don't see your audio is blocked. Maybe your mic is not working. That could be one case because we never block anyone, but that's still fine. What is this course about? This course we are going to cover. Let me open that PDF as well. Just give me a second. That's the reason I asked you that how many of you have joined today. That's still fine. So this course is developed for people who want to switch their career into Power BI. But in Power BI, there are many other technical stacks which you have to learn. The course will have these many technical uh, courses or these many technical skills which we will be discussing. SQL, Power BI, Azure, and in Azure specifically, what all services we are going to discuss. I've mentioned in the first 2 lines. The last line is more about data engineering, but from a data analyst point of view, how these services are also equally important. We will discuss that as well. Right. So we will be starting with SQL. For this batch, SQL is already done. So if you want to attend SQL, either you have to complete Power BI and Azure and then attend a new batch SQL, or else there are some parallel batches which are going on. You can attend that parallel batches SQL sessions also. There is that option, or else you can go back and check the recordings. So you have multiple options for this SQL. But anyways, we started with Power BI. Power BI we will have minimum 35 sessions, not 35 days, 35 sessions. So Monday to Friday, we have 5 sessions a week. 8 to 9:30 in the morning, right? So this is all about this course from the technical point of view. It would be complete 4 months, 80 sessions, not 80 days, 80 sessions. I'll keep it to 80 sessions, right? So it's not 80 days, 80 sessions. 4 months means what? 4 into 3, right? 120 days. We are skipping that weekends. So 80 sessions we are going to cover. We have just started with Power BI. From the SQL point of view, we've already completed. You will get recordings. If you're not satisfied, you will be given option to attend parallel some other batch SQL sessions if they have started recently. Or if you're even not satisfied with that, you have to complete Power BI and Azure. Then we are again going to start with SQL. So there you will be added. So all 3 options are open from the SQL point of view. From the cloud, we are discussing Azure, no AWS, because Azure is a product of Microsoft and Power BI is also product of Microsoft. Both of them have that dependency. If I again go back and show you, maybe Sonali, you can go back and check yesterday's recording. How to check, how to log in, I've shown you a basic idea. But just to highlight to your answer, if I go to this get data and click on more options, I have so many connectors for Azure, which I can easily connect to Power BI. Whereas for AWS, there are very limited options. Or I'll mention Amazon. For Amazon, there are only 3 options. So that's the primary difference why people prefer Azure with Power BI rather than AWS. So AWS, it's a Amazon product. Azure, so it's more compatible. We can easily get it connected to Power BI and in the same environment, right? Microsoft environment only you will. Any other questions? I can see the other people are from my SQL previous batch. Okay. Yeah, go
Ritesh,
ahead.
will you be uploading any data set like today?
Yeah, I'll be uploading. It will take 5 to 10 minutes. I've already uploaded. It seems there is some lag, but yeah, you can download that data sets from that option once you come down and go to the lessons option here.
Okay.
There will be new component called as Power BI dataset, so you can download that.
Okay. And one more thing, like apart from recordings, like can we get any like PDFs or something like the notes that you
Yeah,
are like
notes.
teaching
See,
like day to day?
notes in the sense I'll be sharing what Power BI has. Maybe I'll not be
Okay.
sharing on the day one, right? Because that notes may contain
Mm-mm-mm.
all the advanced material. I'll be sharing in between the sessions. Probably after 15-20 sessions, I can start sharing.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? So silence, I'm taking it as no. Yeah, good for today. Thank you. Let's connect back tomorrow. Have a good day.